What's up, everybody? It's your boy True Element 78 in the building with
Xavier, Mustafa, the Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer, coming to you live from the home of the Royal Rumble, Phoenix, Arizona.
And this is the infamous narcissist, the one and only, the natural Chris Black.
and today is our Royal Rumble 2019 prediction show. But before we get into that, we got a special guest in the building with us, or on the podcast with us, shall I say? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am the sensational one, Devin August, coming from a top rope near you. You may know me from MIAW, Legacy Pro, muscle trainee for Angel Armani, and Xavier Mustafa.
And he loves to wear silly ass hats.
12 wins.
Hey,
12 wins.
But they
12
ain't made it
wins.
to no Super Bowl. He got on a Bears hat for those of you
Packers
guys out there
gonna get
wondering.
8 wins.
He got on
12 wins, and they sitting on the sidelines right
they
now.
fishing.
Packers couldn't even get 8 wins. Come on now.
I don't know who's Packer fans up in here.
But
that'll be me.
But anyways, today is, like I said, our prediction show for the 2019 Royal Rumble. And on this card, we have a United States Championship match between Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. We have a 205 Live Championship match with the SmackDown and the Raw Tag belts. Oh, actually, the Raw Tag belts get no respect once again, but we do have the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. We got both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships on the line, as well as the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, and of course, the reason we all tune in, the Men's Rumble and the Women's Rumble. So we're going to kick things off with, like I said at the top, the United States Champion Rusev taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. How do we see this match going, guys?
I think this is going to be a good match. I thought the first match was pretty decent. And I like Rusev having the title right now. I was a little shocked they took it off Shinsuke like that, but
I think that because both guys really have nothing else going on, I'm going to go with Rusev for the win because I think that this feud is going to continue because, again, I don't see Rusev working with anyone else right now. I don't see anything else on the horizon. Same thing with Nakamura. They've had a pretty good match before. They'll probably have a good match now. This might be the rubber match without actually taking the title off of Rusev, so they're not hot-shotting the title. But I think Rusev will retain, but I think the feud is also going to continue.
With this match, neither one of these guys really has any momentum. I know Rusev just took the title off of Shinsuke Nakamura. It was kind of unexpected, but kind of expected in the same breath because Shinsuke wasn't doing anything with the United States Championship. The Intercontinental title is missing from this show, so that would lead me to believe, like Chris Black just said, this could be the rubber match without actually being the blow-off match. So I see Rusev retaining here and the feud continuing into WrestleMania, and nothing coming from this at the Elimination Chamber, so I'm picking Rusev to take it.
yeah, I don't know if I said it. I think I said, I know I gave my thoughts, but I'm going to go with Rusev for the win on that.
Yeah, and I agree with Chris Black. I see this continuing. I don't see no reason why they would end it now. You know, neither one of them's doing anything. I got Rusev for the win.
All right. Next up, we got another kickoff match. We already know. It's going to be Buddy Murphy and Akira Tozawa versus... Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, and Hideo Itami in a fatal four-way for the Cruiserweight Championship. I don't necessarily keep up with 205 Live. I would say Buddy Murphy, just from what I've heard and him holding on to the title for so long, but I'm going to go ahead and say probably Hideo Itami because I know he was out with injury and now he's back, and he was getting a push prior to getting injured. So I would see them wanting to kick that push off now.
I see Buddy Murphy going over, but I would really like to see a Hideo Itami get some time. Like, he is so, what's the word I'm looking for? No, I was saying underwhelming. He deserves it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Hideo Itami as well. I mean, Buddy Murphy's been doing a good job as the champion, but in this type of match, he doesn't have to be pinned. And although I do also like Akira Tozawa, I think that Hideo Itami, it's his time. Like I said, they've been wanting to put him over for a while. He's been out with some injuries. I just hope that they don't hold that against him, having injuries, that is. And I hope they actually give him a run with the title because, again, I think even Daniel Bryan years ago said that Itami is probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I'm glad that maybe he can get his shine.
I think the biggest problem with him is he's injury prone.
Yeah.
Like every time I turn around, he seems to be injured. But I would like to see him go into a program with Akira Tozawa because I think Akira Tozawa is kind of being overlooked in this situation too. Like he's a great talent.
Yeah, he's been overly looked since the cruiserweight championship, the tournament. He's been overlooked since then.
Yeah.
I don't really follow 205 a lot, so I don't really know a lot. But I think if this is any time to put it on Hideo Itami, this would be a perfect time because as you said, he doesn't the champ doesn't have to get pinned, so they can pin somebody else and they can start a feud or something. But
how do you not watch 205 Live? That's your division.
He watches the Bears.
That's right. This will be the first show you watch. No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, and then we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship titles on the line with the Bar taking on The Miz and Shane McMahon. How do we see this going?
Such a waste.
I see that the only outcome, the only thing that makes sense is they're gonna have to start something with Miz and Shane. Like that's the only thing that makes sense with this. Like I don't see them a real tag team. They better not win this. I see some shenanigans where they lose or Shane causes it, and that's how they start the feud. But my vote is for Sheamus and Cesaro for retaining.
I'm intrigued because I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I'm kind of intrigued in what they're gonna go with the Shane and the Miz, where they're going with this. I do think that somehow they're gonna pull it off. That or they're using this match to set up some weird feud between Shane and the Miz, and I don't know why. I think that they could have good chemistry. Again, I don't know why. I'm disappointed for even thinking like that, but I just think that Shane and The Miz are going to either go over or they're going to set up a feud for WrestleMania.
Just think about maybe 6 months ago, where we all thought it was going to be Daniel Bryan and The Miz making it all the way to WrestleMania and having their big blow-off match to The Miz being a tag team partner with Shane McMahon. Like, how did we get there? What wrong road did we take to get to this, to get here?
Daniel Bryan went heel. And then he told The Miz he was right in everything that he told him. And that was pretty much the blow off right there.
Yeah, that was the end.
My prediction for this match, the reason I say it's a waste because there's so many tag teams out there that could really be in this match besides Shane and The Miz. And there's so many things that Shane and The Miz could be doing in addition, not in addition, but as opposed to this. But definitely, we're going to have to go with the Bar on this one.
See,
this is definitely to further some kind of storyline. That's all.
See, what I see happening is I see the Bar retaining and us having a repeat of this match at the next pay-per-view. And that's where we have the explosion between The Miz and Shane at Elimination Chamber. At least that's how I would book it if I was fantasy booking. That Shane and Miz become close and The Miz convinces Shane we were this close. We were this close. All we need is one more shot. All we need is one more shot. And then at the next pay-per-view, which is Elimination Chamber, they have the blow-up between The Miz and Shane McMahon. If that's the match they want to do for WrestleMania, which isn't a marquee match for me. I was kind of thinking about this, how The Miz is kind of the Frieza of the WWE. Sometimes he ends up in silly situations, but if they wanted to push him back to the top, they easily could. But as far as going against Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, that's not a WrestleMania-worthy match, in my opinion.
If they do have a Shane Miz feud, I want to see Shane as the heel, as the entitled son of the owner, against a babyface Miz.
I like to see that too because I don't think really Shane has really fully embraced being a heel McMahon ever. Like anytime that
Oh,
he has,
what?
it seems kind of
He hasn't
it seems
ever
kind of.
fully embraced it.
No, he's been real goofy with it though.
Yeah, he's
No, when he was
Like,
running
yeah,
the
Mean
corporation.
Street Posse, that
No,
was
no,
goofy.
no. When he was running the corporation, when they were trying to figure out the higher power and all of that before they
He
joined up
was
with
still just the goofy boy to me. He
the.
was just comedy relief.
I don't know. I just went back and watched some of that stuff, and he was real dark. But you know, he also was in his father's shadow as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So to see that nowadays, like that's the one thing WWE hasn't really figured. Like they don't know how to do factions and stables ever since the corporation and the ministry. It always has to be an authority figure on television, but just to do a faction, like they don't understand how to do that for some reason. I don't know why they don't understand the concept. Like I guess the closest thing you could say that they had to a faction was a Shield, but I don't see a faction as being 3 people.
well, yeah, I think one of the biggest things about what goes on now versus back then is they allow things to grow organically there and then run with it once it grew organically. Where now they're trying to manufacture all these like feelings and emotions and groups and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah, just like that group. I forget the name, but it was Sheamus, Barrett, Rusev,
Oh,
and
the
Oh,
League of Nations.
yeah, and that was so forced. That
yeah.
Then next up, we got one of the big matches on the card. Actually, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip those 2 matches on my list, and we'll come back to those. So next up, we got the WWE Championship in the possession of Daniel Bryan against AJ Styles. Which Daniel Bryan, what can I say about him being a heel? He has been excellent.
I agree. I love everything he's been doing so far as a heel, especially when they gave him that time in the beginning of SmackDown. I think it was 2 weeks ago, where he was just like
Snatching hot
yelling.
dogs from people.
Yeah. And then I thought they tried to do the AJ segment like the week after, and that was like, meh.
yeah.
But yeah, I love what he's doing. My opinion, he retains. I don't think AJ needs another title run. I think AJ. I don't know. I think AJ should always be doing something because he's a great talent, but I don't think he needs a belt.
No, I think that I agree with Mustafa. I think Daniel Bryan is going to retain everything that he's been doing. Has just been just spot on. I do think that AJ Styles is not the correct foil for him. I think he's going to need a different type of a baby face. But as far as that goes, yeah, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan.
As far as this match is concerned, I have to go with Daniel Bryan. I think AJ Styles' time has come and gone. I do got a question for you guys. When it comes to booking somebody like AJ Styles, we know his ability, we know what he can do, we know that he can carry the title. Is there a way to write? If you're not fighting for the championship, are you in the main event scene? Is there a way that you're in the main event scene, but you're not competing for a title?
Yeah.
And not considered mid card?
There's a way you can do that, but it's gotta be balanced and it's gotta make sense. I'm trying to think what's recently been a main storyline without a title. I mean, Roman Reigns can be argued. He's been in a lot of main feuds, but he didn't hold the title for some time.
Well, I guess.
That though, yeah, Brock Lesnar not defending it, so
Yeah.
that kind of was the
But
I think
everybody
really,
but everybody in those situations were fighting to get to the championship. That's what I mean is
Right.
to be in the main event picture, but you're not competing to get the title. Because Chris Black just said that he doesn't feel that AJ Styles is the correct foil for Daniel Bryan. But if Daniel Bryan is the champion and AJ has this great ability, I can't see AJ going down to the mid card. But I also don't really necessarily want to see AJ Styles continuing to compete for the WWE Championship. He's pretty much had that title for the past 2 years now.
The thing is, they haven't built anybody up besides.
And that's what I'm getting at is that
clear
he would,
babyface.
he would have to fall down because who would be the next big baby face on the card? I guess you could say what the Miz is doing with Shane McMahon is kind of baby face ish, but we don't know where that's really going to lead. Yeah, it would be Mustafa Ali, and he's in a situation now with Randy Orton and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you want to keep AJ Styles in the main event picture without being in the title, then who's the next top heel?
Well, who's the next top heel and who's the next top face to challenge Daniel Bryan? That's why I was posing that question on how do we get AJ Styles, who's the top baby face, and really, when you really look at it, it's him and Mustafa Ali as the baby faces on SmackDown. How do we get AJ Styles out of the title picture, but keep him at the top of the card and bring someone up who can challenge Daniel Bryan? That's why I was posing that question. Maybe we'll come back to that after the Rumble or on the next episode. But I'm picking Daniel Bryan to win.
Yep, same.
DB for the win.
All right. Then next up, we got the Universal Championship, or the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar defending against Finn Balor.
All right, so I'm gonna start on this one. I would love it for Finn Balor to be the one to take the championship off Brock Lesnar because nobody would expect it right now. However, the likelihood of that happening is not so great. I don't see him taking it off, especially with the little build that it's had.
Yeah.
And like I said on the podcast, if Brock Lesnar would have destroyed him one of these weeks and like humiliated him and just beat the dog crap out of him, and he came back as the Demon and then won the title, all right, I'm for it. But plain face Finn Balor, creepy smile, no, I don't think that dude is gonna do it.
Yeah, I think all this match was them giving the fans, the people, more faces. You know how Vince came on and said he was gonna new era. Shake things up. I think this is all this is, just a match to shake things up, see a new face Brock, but it's gonna be the same. Same with like Samoa Joe when he went against Brock Lesnar. It's gonna be a good match, but my vote is for Brock.
Yeah, on paper, I like the match and everything, and I think it's going to be very entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. But anything other than a Brock Lesnar victory is not, I don't want to say believable. I don't want to use that word, but isn't feasible in my mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Brock Lesnar. I think Finn Balor would probably do better on SmackDown, probably going in the title picture with Daniel Bryan. I think that him and Brock Lesnar is just such a mismatch. The fact that they're not even doing the Demon Balor, that could be a red herring. They could just be lying to us. But what makes them think that Finn Balor stands a chance against Brock Lesnar? Again, they've done nothing. I argued at the last episode of the podcast, that they did not build the Demon up properly. They haven't even built up regular Finn Balor properly.
And I'm going to add something, too. I mean, they had the perfect opportunity a couple of weeks ago to put probably one of the greatest heels on the roster in that spot. And we could have finally got our Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar match.
Oh, I thought we were going to go one episode.
Here we go.
But they decided to have him lose to AJ Styles on SmackDown, but
I hope you meet Jinder Mahal out there during Access or
Royal Rumble weekend.
No. And he refuses to shake your hand so you can get on here and start talking about him like Austin Aries.
Right?
I just hope he Austin Aries you out there. So we don't have to hear any more of this crap. I hope he gives you
not just a gimmick.
Hope he gives you the Jeff Jarrett treatment. I'm gonna be the dissenter here, and I'm gonna go with Finn Balor. And the main reason I'm going with Finn Balor is the next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber. I don't see Brock defending that belt at Elimination Chamber. If Brock were to win, that means that we get another Elimination Chamber match. That means the winner of the Rumble would have to be someone from SmackDown again. It would also mean pretty much that someone from Yeah. It would mean that the winner of the Rumble would have to be someone from SmackDown, and we would have a number one contendership match in the Elimination Chamber to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Um, just based on the fact that we know Brock Lesnar's not going to be at Elimination Chamber. So I'm going to go with Finn Balor and Finn losing that belt at Elimination Chamber, or maybe retaining it, but I see him winning the belt from Brock, losing it in Elimination Chamber, similar to what happened with John Cena and Bray Wyatt 2 years ago.
Here's my problem with that. If you make Finn a transitional champ, that really destroys his fire for pinning Brock Lesnar. That really just kills that.
I don't even think if he pins Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, if you're gonna.
I don't even think if he pins Brock Lesnar, it's going to be a clean pin. I think it's going to be a controversial finish. But we we got Strowman. Strowman just marches down to the ring like, I'm waiting for you, Beastie Boy, and somehow gets involved in the match, helping Finn to get the win.
Okay, now I can go with that. If Brock loses dirty and then he feuds with that person at WrestleMania, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But Finn going over clean, not going to happen.
What did you guys think of the blind ref on? I know this is just a prediction show, but what did you guys think of the blind ref on Monday when Finn Balor landed in the arms of Brock and then just got suplexed and the ref did nothing about it?
Yeah, that was
They're representing the Bird Box.
Bird Box challenge on Raw. Yeah,
like they were doing the Bird Box challenge at work, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. And honestly, I think that like I was a fan of the AJ Styles match against Brock Lesnar. I really love the Daniel Bryan match against Brock Lesnar. I think this is going to be Brock Lesnar's best small man match, whether Finn is the demon or Finn is the man. I think that this may be Brock Lesnar's best big man, little man match, just based on the speed of Finn Balor. He's faster than all these other guys. And I even think that I would even put Finn as being more dynamic than AJ Styles now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, Finn Balor, he is very, very dynamic in the ring. So I'm not going to say that he's a slouch, but it's just hard for me to just
right.
see
And
him
also
getting a clean win.
And also what we gotta kind of think about is the AJ Styles style of match, which is pretty technical. It can be a little bit high flying. Daniel Bryan is much more the technician, submission person. Finn Balor just throws his body at you, all 110 pounds of it. he just hurls it at you. Like that is his entire offense is drop kicks. Basically, it's all kicks. The only move that Finn Balor does that isn't a drop kick or a kick in WWE is the sling blade, and even that is him hurling his body at you.
You sound like a fan Josh Bonds who says his entire moveset is drop kick, sling blade. Coup de grace.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. And even the coup de grace is a drop kick. It's just a vertical
Weakest
drop
move
kick.
on the roster.
Weakest.
Yeah, so his move set, but he uses what he has, which is pretty much just his body. But like I said, he's speedy. He's way faster than everyone else that Brock has faced. So I think that speed can kill. I think they could tell a very great story for him of beating Brock Lesnar. But like I said, I'm looking at Finn and saying Finn is going to walk away with this victory. This entire call is coming out of left field. For Finn to go in there and to lose after, like you said, there hasn't really been any build. But now they're starting this whole believe, which is basically the Roman Reigns believe that. They just shortened it to I believe or whatever, or believe. I believe that Finn Balor could actually be the one to tame the beast, especially if all the rumors of UFC and all of that stuff are true with Brock. I've noticed Brock's physique getting slimmer and smaller, which will lead me to believe that he is getting ready for something big, and I don't think it's WrestleMania.
No, are you sure it wasn't that replica belt making him look different a little bit?
Yeah, he borrowed that from Jinder Mahal, I'm sure, because that's the closest
Wait,
Jinder's
what?
getting to that title ever again.
Right.
Is the replica belts.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I like what somebody said. They said that they feel that the only reason Jinder Mahal was given that belt is so that he could be put in situations like the match he was with Finn, where they could say, this guy is going up against a former world champion.
Mhm.
They gave that belt to Jinder Mahal because he was the greatest heel with heat there at that point in time. I mean, that music will come
Go
on,
away, Heat.
will stand on their feet and
Mm.
boo. Hey, go away heat, come back heat, whatever. Heat is heat. At the end of the day, that man got the boos, and the people hated him. And that was the greatest. I think it was a year. Somebody says a little shorter year.
Only
The
the
greatest
booze
month.
was the boo boos, like the shits.
Now, I do want to mention this. I think that this would be really cool. I mentioned Braun Strowman getting involved. Something that we haven't seen that hasn't been brought up. Bray Wyatt could come back, and maybe Bray Wyatt could draw out the demon, or at least that aggression in Finn Balor. I think that would be really cool to play off of that. But
You
you know
I was
that's
thinking about
fantasy booking.
you got Kevin Owens coming back possibly sometime soon too.
That'll be after Mania. It's too. I don't think that I don't see anywhere for him to be inserted right now.
I see Kevin Owens Royal Rumble. Definitely, he's healthy.
There's nowhere for him to be inserted right now, especially if he do any more NXT call ups. I think that his spot on the roster will be after Mania, and give Owens a year to build back up into something. Because the last time we saw Owens, he was just getting destroyed by Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Give him some time.
The
Well,
same thing with Sami Zayn. And also those are two guys that don't need to rush back, because like I just said, there's no spot right now that I can see them being inserted into on the roster that would make any sense. You got Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, you got the Bludgeon Brothers, you got whatever's going on with Lars Sullivan, you got the EC3s of the world, the Heavy Machine. You got all these people that have no spots right now. If they don't have any spot for the NXT call-ups that have been being advertised, I definitely don't see where there's a spot for these people coming back from injury, who the last time we saw them.
Somebody like Kevin Owens, I think, could be put in the spot immediately, just because of the popularity that he's gained since he's been there.
Okay, if he was going to be put anywhere, before he got squashed by Braun, he was starting to get sympathy cheers and everything like that.
Yeah, he was starting
so if he was going to get inserted anywhere, he would be that person that's going up against Daniel Bryan and taking the AJ Styles spot.
That was my idea.
That's what
I was thinking.
That would be the only position for him.
Well, Owens, Daniel Bryan.
Because where else do you go with like Chris was saying? Where else do you go with Daniel Bryan at this point?
But like I also said, to insert him into that 2 months before WrestleMania, I don't think is enough time. And he's coming back from injury, so to be even inserted into that spot is very iffy. I don't see the WWE giving him that type of push coming right back from injury, especially double leg surgery or whatever the hell he had. That was crazy. I think Sami Zayn had double shoulder surgery and
double rotated couple.
Yeah, and Kevin Owens had surgery on both of his legs. So for him to come back and be thrust into the main event picture, I don't see that happening this soon.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the only reason why I said that is because I don't think there's really no other route you could go, really, because you can't really go with any of the new people yet, because they haven't, shown their value to be one of the headliners or one of the main matches at WrestleMania. So that's why I would say that, but yeah, we'll never know. I mean, because once we get to the men's battle royal, I got some pretty good predictions of some surprises that may pop up in there. Might change everything.
Yeah. So I said I picked Finn. Everybody else picked Brock. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. We're gonna start doing confidence points, and we're gonna start making bets on these shows. And usually, how the bets go is that whoever loses has to buy a shirt, like a random shirt, and they have to wear it and post it on their social media and leave it there. But they have to wear the shirt out in public, and it's usually something that they don't agree with.
I'm totally cool with that. But you know what though? I have been. I don't want to say undefeated, but I've been pretty good in my predictions lately. You know what I'm saying? Like Bobby Lashley. Something being done with him. Them
You just
pushing.
gonna hang your hat on that, ain't you?
You know what I'm saying?
Yup, you know he is.
Yeah, if he keeps doing that, he won't have to buy a shirt. He have to buy a hat, a red hat.
Bears hat.
No, a red hat with some white letters on it. He had to buy the Kanye hat and wear it to work. You had to wear it. You had to wear it. No, actually, yeah, you would have to wear it while sitting at the Legacy Pro show.
I was gonna say that'll be fine where I work. They wouldn't care.
Oh no! You had to wear it to the Legacy show and get in the ring and cut a promo in it.
Right.
Get yourself over. I love to see it. Oh, make you wear it to a Mondo Lucha in the fall. Now you want to talk about heat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But so next up we got the Raw Women's Championship match, which is Ronda Rousey as champion taking on Sasha Banks. Now we just got done talking about this Finn Balor and this Brock Lesnar situation. This is pretty much the exact same situation. Sasha Banks and Finn Balor have the same body. Just one is more tan than the other.
I am so excited for this match.
But I don't think Finn Balor has the same.
That's gonna be a good match.
ass.
It's gonna be a really good match.
We're finally getting NXT heel Sasha. Sasha's ratchet.
Yes.
No, she's not. We're getting that Sasha Banks. And that is going to bring the best out of Ronda Rousey. And I don't care who wins this. I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm pretty sure Ronda Rousey is going to walk out with the W.
Yeah. Ronda's retaining.
Ronda's retaining.
Okay. Okay. So I guess true. I'm going to be the one that's going to be against everybody else. I'm going to go with Sasha Banks because I don't think that moving forward. Again, my theory is probably convoluted, getting to the triple threat with Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, but I don't think Ronda needs the title. I think that Sasha can win, and I think Sasha might even go over dirty. I think Becky might cost Ronda that match. I think Charlotte might cost Ronda that match.
Yeah, I could see that since she did that to them with Asuka. I totally see that.
I see it being a no contest. I see the match being thrown out. I don't think we're going to have a clear winner or a clear loser. It's going to be by DQ.
But then that means Sasha gets a rematch, and I don't.
No, remember, this is that new era. So it doesn't mean that she gets a rematch. But I see something happening.
They do it at Elimination Chamber. And then have that be over, then have them go into whatever she's going to do for WrestleMania. I can see that happening.
And do you guys realize it's kind of funny? Like, now Ronda Rousey has basically rubbed elbows with every person of the WWE's 4 horsewomen except for Bayley. Everyone in the 4 horsewomen of the WWE has some type of history-setting accomplishment except for Bayley. Like, Becky Lynch was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha and Charlotte just had all the first against one another.
Yeah.
You know, I think the reason why is because coming in from NXT to WWE, Bayley had the most fire behind her than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think WWE, and now that I think about it, I kind of want to say it's been purposely. I felt like they did everything they can to extinguish Bayley and her character compared to everybody else.
So you saying they tried to bring her down because she was so much higher than everyone else?
Yep.
I don't agree with that at all.
The way she was in NXT, and the first thing they did is they brought her up too early. They brought her up for that little match, I think, was it with Sasha?
Yeah, it was with Sasha. Yeah,
they brought her up for that, which was like ill-timed because it's like she was already working with Charlotte, I think, at the time. So it was like, why did y'all bring her up now? And then just waste her for a couple of weeks. Then try to start doing something with them. That didn't make any sense. Then have her attack Sasha, and then they went to couples counseling instead of going into a feud. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. Y'all friends? Y'all not friends? Like, it's the most weirdest thing ever.
I think they inadvertently just have destroyed Bayley's chances because, like I said, she came and she was hot when she came out of NXT. But I don't think in the main roster, I made the argument that not all the women wrestlers need to look like fashion models. Well, with Bailey's plain Jane persona, she's gonna kind of fade in the background, regardless of her talents, when she's put, up against the more glamorous, not divas, but women wrestlers, because she is just kind of plain. She's an amazing worker, but WWE doesn't treat her that way.
Well, I believe that she's good at selling and everything like that. As far as being an amazing worker, I look at what everyone else in the women's division, at least that are at the top of the women's division, does compared to Bailey. And Bailey seems the most limited out of everyone.
Oh, they haven't. See, NXT Bailey, just like most of them, just is not the same main roster.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's.
Oh yeah.
Like I wasn't really watching Bailey in NXT. I do know how over she was because that's all I kept hearing was this chick named Bailey. I tuned in and I saw the whole hugger thing, and then I turned it right off. I was like, I don't get this.
Well, the thing is, like, she's such a sweetheart, but when you push her there, when you take her there, the beast comes out.
Right, and they tried to do that, and what killed Bailey's career on the main roster as in her current iteration was the kendo stick match against Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, the feud with Bliss. That soured her on everything.
That hurt her more than anything else. And I don't care. We could talk about it, argue about the wrestling fans' short-term memory. That really hurt her. That and the This Is Your Life segment. Everything that her and Alexa Bliss did. If you want to talk about bringing somebody down to earth and down to size, I think that those segments did more damage to her than anything that happened to Baron Corbin in the past year. Baron Corbin could come back from everything. Baron Corbin could come back from everything that happened and everything that everyone thinks about him. I don't think Bailey can in her current iteration.
Nope. She's ruined. Right now, she's ruined.
So the only reason I was bringing that up is that I think that this is where we can do a Bailey turn on Sasha. Like, I'm not going to allow you to get one more over on me. Bailey currently pretty much has been the peacekeeper for Sasha in this entire feud. They still haven't been one to turn Natty heel. They really don't have any heels on Raw in the women's division right now. Like, you got the right
Naya, Tamina, and Alicia.
Naya and Tamina aren't even gonna have a spot at WrestleMania.
Yeah, ain't not.
And so on Raw you have the Riot Squad, you got Naya, Tamina, you got Alicia Fox. None of them are gonna be in the main event picture anytime soon. This is where we can turn Bailey heel. Everybody wants to talk about the 4 horsewomen of the WWE versus the 4 horsewomen of the UFC. I see Sasha switching sides here and letting that tell a story. I'd rather see that happen in this match and it be a no contest finish. That way, Bailey has been the one that's been being slighted, and I think that is the one thing that can help get her career back on track. Bailey will have to turn. I don't care. WWE can fight it, try to deny it all that they want to. Like, she can't be John Cena based on everything that they've done to her. John Cena wasn't always booked correctly, but John Cena was always booked to go over. So it killed other people's careers. Bailey hasn't been booked correctly, and it only hurt her career.
Well, I would love to see a Bailey heel turn. I think that would be great.
Yeah, evil Bailey would be over.
And people be trying to give her hugs, and she'd be like, no.
No. Fickle.
The inflatable balloon people, she pops them.
I think that would be awesome. Turn her into like a Rosemary type character or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Have her start hanging out with what's her freaking name? What can I think of it now? A chick from Sanity, Nikki Cross. Have those two become friends or something.
I think someone needs to corrupt her, like storyline wise, someone to corrupt her. That way she can have a story where she kind of comes back from it.
And that's kind of why I brought up Nikki Cross as well, because Nikki could do the whole thing she did with Aleister Black. Like, I know what happened, or I know who done it. Like, she could get in Sasha's head and be like, you've been on the main roster for how long? And what have you accomplished? Yes, you were women's champion, but for like, how long was that? And how legit of a reign did you have?
Yeah, none.
Yeah, so like I said, all the horsewomen have done something on the main roster. Yes, has Bayley been a champion? Yes, but her career is completely off track. A lot of times I even forget that she's there. She might as well be on injured reserve because she's just a background player. So for her to turn heel on Sasha in this match, I think would tell a great story. It would get us to WrestleMania and give Sasha and Bayley something to do. Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match. That's a WrestleMania match. We've seen it before in NXT, but we can see it on the big card. I think that this show would pretty much every WrestleMania over the past several years has featured about 3 women's matches. So looking at that, depending on if they do the women's tag titles match there, we'll have 3 or 4 women's matches. So we can have Sasha versus Bayley at Mania. We could have the Raw Women's Championship match, SmackDown Women's Championship match, and a women's tag team match. And I think that will round out our women's card for WrestleMania. So that's what I would want to see, at least right now. And later on, SummerSlam, we could do the 4 horsewomen because I don't think that Ronda's posse is ready to be on the main roster. And again, They have all of these people on injured reserve and all these people from NXT that are already announced and been shown on the main roster that I don't think that there's any room to have 3 more people come up from NXT, especially Shayna Baszler and company. So, yeah, I'm picking Ronda, like I said, to win this match, but it's going to be by nefarious means or, nobody's going to be laying on the back or tapping out in this match. And so you were the one dissenter. You said Sasha, Chris Black. So.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got another match that all eyes are going to be on, and it is the SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka taking on Becky the Man Lynch.
I'm gonna let you go first, Chris Black.
Okay, so at the last podcast episode, I did say that I think it will seriously hurt Becky's momentum if she loses this match. True, you try to tell me that you don't think that's accurate, but I can't see Becky losing, helping her in any shape or form.
Like I said, I don't see it hurting her as long as she comes back and does something later on in the night.
Now,
man,
I will say,
the man, she got to have the title. She's gonna be the man. That's why I agree with you, Chris Black. I don't see her losing. If she's gonna be the man, she needs the title.
We'll pump your brakes now. Now, as much as I said it will hurt Becky Lynch to lose, I think she's gonna lose. I think Asuka's gonna go over, but I think that.
I guess I'm
maybe I'm being short-sighted, but I don't think that Becky Lynch losing is going to be a good thing, but I think it's going to happen.
That's funny, DJ. You went in for the hot tag and he turned heel on you. I think just based off what True just said about that last match, I feel that way about this one. I think this is one that doesn't end with a finish. This one ends in DQ, double DQ, or something like that. Because then you still keep Asuka and Becky Lynch in the main event picture. And then you can have Ronda Rousey definitively win her match and go on to what she's going to do. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, do you insert Asuka into the Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey love triangle? Like...
What I would like to see happen, ultimately, I won't say dream match, but my WrestleMania dream match will be Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. But I know they want to put Charlotte in there so bad. And I think the way you do that is you have this match end up in like a knockdown, drag out, or whatever. Do something where you insert Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte wins the Rumble. She picks Ronda Rousey. No, that doesn't work either. I don't know. I give up.
Okay,
so this is hard.
So one of the most interesting takes that I've heard on this is to have Becky lose to Asuka, pop up in the men's rumble with the man gimmick and win the men's rumble, and then pick
Take
who she
out
wants
Brock
to face.
Lesnar?
So Charlotte wins the women's rumble and picks Ronda Rousey, and Becky wins and says, "I want to face Charlotte and Ronda Rousey." So I thought that would be very interesting. It kind of be payback for what they did with Santino Morello in the women's battle royal from so many years ago or whatever.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Have Brock Lesnar destroy Finn Balor. Have that happen in the men's Royal Rumble with Becky Lynch winning. Becky Lynch chooses Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania and beats him with the disarmer.
No, beats him with the finger poke of doom.
No, we see what happens when that
Beats
happens.
him in a drinking contest.
Or the man just beats
Well, she is.
beats up the beast.
Well, she is Irish, so she could always just hit him with a potato. Giggity, I'm here all night. But like I said, Becky could lose this match as long as she does something big later in the night, whether that is costing Charlotte the Rumble match, and then we get to Elimination Chamber and we have a one-on-one between Becky and Charlotte for number one contendership against whoever's champion or whatever they want to do. I just hope they don't try to do the feet touching the ground at the same time thing in the women's Rumble. I don't see Charlotte winning the Rumble though. I can call that. I'm giving that away. That's a spoiler for you guys. I don't see Charlotte winning the women's Rumble.
Okay, let me ask you this. And maybe this is fast forwarding to the women's Rumble, but I
I didn't give you my pick yet. Let me give you my pick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me give you my pick, and then then we can fast forward to the women's Rumble. Yeah, Becky. I don't see Becky beating Asuka. I don't think Asuka is going to be champion when we get to WrestleMania either. I don't think that they really want Asuka as champion at WrestleMania. But I'm picking Asuka to win the Becky Lynch versus Asuka SmackDown Women's Championship match. Go ahead.
All right. So I think one of the things that's going to determine what's going to happen is which Rumble happens first. I seriously believe if the women's Rumble happens second, which means it will close out the show.
Second to last.
No, let me take it back. No, I think if it happens first. I think we're forgetting about somebody. And I'm not just saying it because I like this particular female, but I'm saying this because I think it makes more sense from a Heat perspective. If Alexa Bliss wins the women's battle royal, and then she comes and she interferes in that match, so that way you get Asuka out of the whole deal with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, and her and Asuka can have their WrestleMania match. And then you have the opening where Charlotte and Becky can do something with Ronda Rousey on the Raw side.
I don't think Alexa Bliss wants any of Asuka, even less than she wants of Ronda Rousey. That's pretty much the same person, except for one can actually speak English and the other one is going to be just yelling at you and you're not going to know what they're talking about.
Hey, but at the end of the day, she'll go in there, she'll handle business. So.
Besides that, Asuka, I'm like, Asuka will whoop that ass.
And I'm more afraid of facing Asuka than I am of facing Ronda Rousey. Asuka's moveset looks devastating. No matter, it always looks good. It always looks good.
It could be a thing where she goes in there and she tries to help Becky Lynch. It backfires. It helps Asuka. Boom! Now she's in a match she didn't intend to be in.
Right. I can see that. But earlier I said that I see if Finn Balor does beat Brock Lesnar. Well, I think what I said earlier is if Brock Lesnar does beat Finn Balor, then the winner of the Elimination Chamber match is going to be a number one contendership match to see who faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania if Brock Lesnar retains. So kind of the same thing holds true in this women's championship match, that if Asuka and Becky Lynch, if Ronda Rousey retains, then the women's elimination chamber match, I think, is going to be for the number one contendership match, and that she won't be defending that belt in the elimination chamber. If Asuka retains, she's defending her SmackDown title in the elimination chamber. Which, who is on SmackDown? Is Carmella? Is Becky Lynch? Is Charlotte?
Well, I don't think the women's title is going to have anything to do with the Elimination Chamber, with them already having the chamber match for the
Women's
tag belt. Unless they have 3 Elimination Chambers. I mean, which they could do.
But then again,
I don't see why they wouldn't.
What a women will be pulling double duty. They don't even have enough women in tag teams to even warrant that. Everybody is going to be teamed up somehow. So you could even see Asuka and Naomi freaking. Asuka could go into WrestleMania as a double champion.
Okay, well, as far as the tag teams, I mean, you've got like the Samoan chicks, you've got the Iconics, you have Bayley and Sasha.
Oh yeah, that's right. There are these are going to be floating titles. That's what I'm forgetting. Also,
yeah,
but still, you look at it. You have 12 women that are going to be in this elimination for tag title match. Huh? No, because there's 2.
Yeah, it will be 12.
Yes.
4 would start.
Riot Squad, 4th team.
Yeah, 4 would start.
Now, what I hope they don't try to pull no stupid crap where it's actual tag team rules. It better be tornado tag. Because I can see the WWE pulling, hey, one at a time. Or something like that.
Who do you guys think will be surprises in the women's Royal Rumble?
I think some of the women from the all women's pay-per-view, like maybe Trish, maybe Lita. I don't know, some of those types.
I know they have a bunch of signees now that have signed, like not Britt Baker. What's Zack Ryder's girlfriend's name? She does like the psycho chick gimmick on the indies. Shit. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna look her up. I know she's signed.
I can't think of it.
I know she's.
Yeah.
I know she's
yeah, she just signed. Yeah.
Maybe the tampon spot girl.
You know what? WWE, she went viral, so WWE might, want to jump on that train.
Hey, if they want to start getting more edgy again.
The Cash Me Outside girl, she out there making money. On the
Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is going to show up in the Women's Rumble. I believe she's going to show up in the Women's Rumble with her psycho gimmick or whatever.
We'll probably have people from the Mae Young Classic, of course.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't get signed.
Know that they're going to... Do you think, jumping ahead, do you think, the NXT Women's Champ is going to show up? Do you think the NXT UK Women's Champ is going to show up?
Oh, yeah, they're in town, so they might as well use them. They paid to get them over.
The UK, yeah.
They flew all the way over here, so you might as well use them. So Toni Storm...
go ahead and say Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
Shayna Baszler, Toni Storm. Now that would be very interesting. Imagine if Shayna Baszler entered into the Rumble and she won.
I would love to see Shayna Baszler versus Asuka, to be 100% honest.
Ooh,
in a shoot. That'd be a
match.
shoot. That could be a shoot.
That match would be a shoot. They probably would know how to do a work.
I don't know, because they don't want her beating up on Asuka like they.
I think Asuka can take it. That's the funny thing.
I'm more scared for Shayna Baszler than Asuka. Shayna Baszler gonna think she in UFC again.
So, of course you're gonna have Trish, you're gonna have Lita, yada yada yada. Since we're already talking about it, who are we picking to win the Women's Rumble?
Just
pick your top 3.
Number one. Just if things just regular and there's no or whatever. Anyway, my number 1 pick would probably be just like Ember Moon, because I think Ember Moon and Asuka, if they were going to have a match at WrestleMania, they had good matches in NXT.
Yeah, they did.
WWE might want to have that on the WrestleMania platform. That's the only reason why I'll pick her.
See,
It's a toss-up for me. There's so many potentials that could win it. And if you just want to spice something up or do something different, it's so easy to do it this way. So I don't know who to pick. I mean, I could just pick back off you and say Ember Moon. Shayna Baszler will be nice, especially her being the NXT Women's Champion. Unless she does, well, she has to make it past Bianca Belair, but we'll talk about that in the next segment. You know, like there's so many opportunities, and I think that's what's so exciting about this Rumble.
Paige
That's
is
why
winning.
I'm here. That's going to be the first time they're going to be in a baseball arena. I already got a report from somebody that works there that says they have an awesome setup, but of course they can tell me what it is, give me pictures of it or anything. And there's so many different ways they can go with everything. What are they going to do? We got to wait and find out.
Paige is winning the Rumble.
That will be the worst thing to happen.
AJ Lee is showing up in the Rumble, confirmed.
That would be.
That would get a pop.
I would. Yeah.
Oh, you best believe that WWE is probably blowing up her phone and going to pay her to stay home, because Matt, like we talked about CM Punk going to AEW. AJ Lee has expressed that she would love to wrestle again. She does miss it. Imagine if AJ Lee signed on to AEW.
That would be awesome.
Like to help kick off their women's division. Like they got Britt Baker. I think that they got like one other female, and then you got AJ Lee. So just
a lot of people like to say AJ was overrated, but I think she was underrated.
Yeah, 100% underrated.
I'm sorry, I'm one of those people that thought she was overrated. As far as now, don't get me wrong, she was a worker. She was not a wrestler. She did not have the moves, but she knew how to work a match.
Well, I would say this: look at who she had to face off with in her time there.
Yeah, exactly. She was
her ring work was nothing to write home about.
But look at who, like it takes two to tango. She could sell and do what she has to do on her end, but how the match eventually comes together and the moves that she can do on someone also comes down to who she's in the ring with and what they agreed to take bumps on. If you're in there with the Bellas, you know what the Bellas aren't out there having matches with Asuka. Not that AJ Lee had a match with Asuka.
When you wrestle Bella, you got to make sure they don't kill themselves, because you know they don't know how to do moves right. There's all this stuff going on. But you know better than anybody, it's not really necessarily what you do in the ring, it's how you do it.
Right.
And
that's why I said
those people that I think that mastered, she can do what she can do in the ring to get over the emotions she wants to get over for the fans to feel.
Right. I never watched an AJ Lee match to be like, oh man, this match is going to be great. It's just like, no, she's going to be great. The match isn't going to be the greatest, but she's going to be
exactly.
Great.
That's what I just said. She's going to do her part, but you're in the ring eventually with one other person, two other people, three other people, whatever the case may be. So the matches
like Jinder Mahal and Alexa
Bliss.
Jatinder
need to do. Jatinder. Oh, and actually, you know what? That might be somebody who shows up in the Rumble. What's her name? Tania. I sent her to you guys. She had that match with Jatinder, and she just signed. She just posted that she was in the NXT. In NXT, I forgot what her name is. She thick. She thick.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Yeah, I'm glad that's what you remember.
It's a family show. Some of our younger audience may not know what you mean by thick.
Ask your mom. She knows. But yeah. So I would love to see Carmella actually win the Women's Rumble. I think it'd just be a big middle finger to everybody.
But Carmella comes out to crickets.
But let's not forget, she's gonna get thrown out on a 7-second dance break. So we know that spot's gonna happen, and she's number 30. So I see her, like, maybe she throws somebody over and forgets that somebody's in the match, and then she gets eliminated. Who that would be? Imagine if it was like Zelina Vega that eliminated her or something. I don't know. Really, WWE really only has built up. Like I know you said Ember Moon, but Ember Moon has no momentum. It would be out of nowhere, and an Ember Moon in WrestleMania. What we always got to remember is that WrestleMania, depending on how much pressure WWE is feeling from AEW and all these other organizations, WrestleMania is not about the core fans. It's about the casuals. It's about the filthy casuals. So, with that being said, we know about NXT and Asuka and Ember Moon, but Ember has not had any storytelling storylines on the main roster. She was used kind of to help get. She was used the biggest storyline that she had was the storyline with how we got Nia Jax and Tamina, and zero reaction to her getting beat down by Nia Jax. Nia Jax actually brought her to the main roster, so her career on the main roster was already off to a shitty start by being introduced by Nia Jax. Then then Nia turns her back on you, and now you haven't really been doing anything. So it would be more believable for Sarah Logan to win the Women's Rumble than it would be for Ember Moon. Sarah Logan has more momentum going for her than Ember Moon does going into the Royal Rumble. Realistically, you have 4 people who could possibly win the Rumble that are in the Rumble. You got Charlotte, you got Nia Jax, you got Ruby Riott, and I would imagine Bayley is in there. So out of those, you would have to pick Charlotte. I said I don't believe that Charlotte is going to win the Women's Rumble. So I believe Nia Jax being the winner of the Rumble for me.
I'm gonna go with
That's
Charlotte.
your final answer?
That's gonna be my final answer, but she's not gonna be the one that ends up at WrestleMania. She's not gonna end up somehow the Elimination Chamber. She's not going to be the one who ends up in that main event match.
Okay.
She's gonna wager. She's gonna wager her number 1 contendership at Elimination Chamber against someone and lose it foolishly because she thinks that her and Tamina, with Tamina watching her back, she can do anything. So I'm gonna pick Nia Jax to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
I don't foresee it being. I think the ship has sailed on Nia Jax.
It has, and that's why she's not gonna be at WrestleMania. She's not even gonna be on the card.
So I'm gonna go with Charlotte or Becky or somebody in that triangle with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I'm going with Charlotte Flair.
Okay. Then we got the Men's Rumble, and that is our main event of Royal Rumble.
Maybe.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna put it on out there. Vince wants to shake things up. He wants to, I don't know, have someone win the Rumble that is just kind of out of nowhere that no one's gonna see coming, and that will have a kick-ass match. You know what they've already set up? I think Mustafa Ali should win the Royal Rumble and face Daniel Bryan.
Ooh, you are rich.
Whoa.
Shake it up.
You know, that would be a nice shake.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, I think
I just don't see
reach
it.
a little bit on that
Yeah.
one. A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they put that much in Mustafa Ali this early, main event. Well, I don't think the main event.
See, now,
Well,
with that being said,
I can even the narcissist can admit when he's wrong. And I remember when Mustafa Ali was going for the cruiserweight belt, I said it's not his time. But then they had that amazing match with Daniel Bryan. I'm just like, it just might be.
and
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad idea or anything.
Yeah.
If that happened, I'll pop for it.
see, here's what I would pop for.
I just don't know
I'm gonna throw
if
this.
Vince is that much of a fan of
Well,
Mustafa Ali.
I want to throw this. I want to throw this out there. This isn't how I see it happening. Imagine if, the second match of the night was the Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar match. And imagine if Finn Balor did lose and it was Finn Balor the man going up against Brock Lesnar. Then the main event of the night is the Royal Rumble and everything is going. And imagine if Mustafa Ali is in the ring by himself. He's eliminated everybody. All the lights go out. Demon Balor comes out and they get their 30 seconds in the Rumble.
Then throw the whole Rumble away.
Yeah,
So you don't come as a demon against Brock Lesnar, but you do to win the Battle Royal?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Stone Cold away.
He's like, I can't do it as the man. But you know, they could still tell the storyline, because remember what you said. He could take so much abuse in that match that it brings the demon out, and then the demon is all we see up until freaking Elimination Chamber or Royal or WrestleMania or whatever. Yes, would it make sense from what we've seen in the past? No, it would not. because the demon has always just shown up. The only time the demon was drawn out was in the feud with Bray Wyatt when they dumped the blood on him, and then he showed up as the Pumpkin King. And then Bray Wyatt caught the mumps or Ebola or whatever JoJo decided to give him. He caught whatever her ass got, because it was swollen. His face was swollen. His face was thick.
All right. Well, before I make my pick, I want to talk about some of the potential surprises that I am predicting for the Royal Rumble. The first one is going to be the most recent signee,
Xavier Mustafa.
Abyss, the Monster Abyss.
Yeah,
I can see him showing up in the Rumble. And then the other two are probably my top two. I don't even know which one I want to talk about first, but I can picture being either 1, 2, or 3, where they get a full entrance, and it'll be the one and only, the man who, as of right now, has been shafted from NXT TakeOver, and that will be the Velveteen Dream. And then my next person that I think will be a surprise will be somebody who has not announced where he has been signed yet, or if he's even
Don't say
signed
Kenny
somewhere
Omega.
yet.
Don't say.
And I'm going to say Kenny Omega.
How'd I know you? How'd I know you?
Dude,
Oh,
stop playing. Stop playing. That ain't gonna happen.
If Kenny
Why not?
Omega shows up
Kenny
there,
wants
the roof
power.
is gonna
Kenny
blow off of
wants
that
power.
place.
His character.
They've offered this man multiple contracts. From last I heard, Triple H and I think Vince have went to visit him.
Yeah,
and talked
I
to him
heard
face
Trips
to face.
went
And he has
to.
not announced that he's signed with AEW yet. To me, the writing's on the wall. He's going to WWE.
But do you understand, if Kenny Omega takes the money
No.
and AEW fails, do you understand the kind of heat that's gonna come back on him for not signing?
But you got to remember,
That's not his fault.
you don't know what kind of contract that he would be signing. He could be going at WWE and using them to just raise his stock.
He could be. That's a negotiation tactic.
Because like I said, Chris Jericho is about to be 50. He can't keep going at the pace that he is. He got his big money contract not based on his wrestling, but based on his wrestling knowledge. So he's going to be on television if they get TV, or he's going to be on the AEW shows, but he's also going to be an agent backstage. So they need someone that the fans can recognize and actually care about. So Kenny Omega signs a deal with WWE that has creative control by him. Him going there would make all the sense in the world to raise his stock, raise people's awareness of him. And then if he leaves and goes to AEW in a year or even 2 years, it will all be worth it.
Mustafa, here we go. I got a question for you. Okay.
Yep.
They throw Kenny Omega $10 million for the year or whatever. He goes over in the Royal Rumble. And then what?
Oh, I don't think it's going.
Daniel Bryan?
I don't think he'll. No, I don't think he'll go over in the Royal Rumble. I just think he'll be a surprise entrance.
But the thing is, all the money that they're throwing at him, supposedly, why the hell would they do anything less than having him win the Royal Rumble?
Because they want to build up to it in WrestleMania next year. That's what they'll do with him.
He ain't gonna be there for more than a year.
That's the same thing to do with
That's the same
AJ.
thing they did with
If they get Kenny Omega to sign, he's signing a 3-year deal just like AJ Styles did. Believe that. He's not.
And you know what? They're going to Samoa Joe his ass. That's exactly what they're going to do to Kenny Omega. Fuck WWE and they damn writing abilities with certain people.
I mean, they can, but you got to look at it like this too. Kenny Omega ain't no spring chicken. All right, he's done a lot in the wrestling business. He's been wrestling for a long time. I think he's been wrestling longer than we have, and we've been doing it for a while. Everybody knows that the end game is the WWE. because that's where you go there, you work your butt off. Hopefully, you get a trainer or a producer's job, and I think that's probably what Kenny Omega wants to do. He could fool around with AEW for a while, but the risk with that is, let's say you sign with AEW and you said AEW fails, or he gets seriously injured or something like that, and then when it comes back to time to negotiate with WWE, and they're like, yeah, let's say we did offer you 10 minutes, or 10 million. 10 million. We'll give you 5.
So
You know what I'm saying? You kind of depleted your own stock.
So Kenny Omega versus Nicholas next year's WrestleMania confirmed.
Probably not next year, but probably like 10 more years when he's 18,
No, he fought a 9-year-old. He'll fight a 10-year-old.
Kenny Omega has been that he'll wrestle kids and dolls. He don't care. He's going to go out there, he's going to have a good match with whatever person, place, or thing he has to. But those are my 3 picks for surprise entrance. For me, as far as somebody who's going to go over in that was a toughie too.
The Architect.
You got Seth?
Yeah, if I had to go with anybody, it has to be Seth.
Me, I think see, they gave Seth the little, the shine on Monday. I think the winner's going to be Drew McIntyre.
Bobby
I think Vince
Lashley.
is in love.
Lashley.
They ain't ready to do that. They're not ready to do a Brock and Lashley match. They're just not ready. I don't know why they're not, but they're not ready to.
Yeah.
Well, we already know a surprise entrant. Surprise entrant. You're gonna have Kurt Angle probably pop up. He's gonna pop up in the Rumble to do an Angle Slam.
Yeah, he'll probably.
He's not gonna, but he's gonna eliminate. He's eliminating him. Kurt Angle and Dolph Ziggler are probably gonna eliminate Drew McIntyre. Think Jason Jordan's gonna show up in the Rumble.
Dang, I was just about. Yep, that's my guess. That's my.
I don't think he's ready to
Nope, I don't think so. I think Jason Jordan, they'll save him till after Mania. He's gonna come in cold. He's got nothing to do.
Yeah, the only potential winners would be Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, or Seth Rollins. Any of those guys with momentum. It would be nice.
General consensus is Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it would be nice to see somebody like Lashley win. He's the Intercontinental Champion. He has nothing to do that night. He has the wild card of Leo Rush, which I wonder if Leo Rush will be in the Rumble, which could be makes for some interesting spots. Him and Kofi Kingston. How many 205 guys are going to show up?
I think there's only like 7 spots open. I think.
Andrade showing up in the Rumble could be fun.
Andrade showing.
I'm waiting to see that Devin August versus Andrade Cien Almas.
Is Batista in ring shape? Can he make an appearance?
I'm sure he's in ring shape.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's a difference between being in shape and then being in ring shape, though.
I think he's always in ring shape.
You think so? I don't know about that.
He's been doing something. He's gotten smaller as far as size, but he's still ripped.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a recent picture of him.
Yeah, I think he's in more ring shape than The Rock was in ring shape when he came back. But it also depends. Like, you look at The Rock's moveset versus Batista's moveset. How in shape does Batista? It's not like Batista was a rope runner or anything like that.
Batista's just a more able-bodied Scott Steiner. So.
Basically, it's all power. So
yeah.
As long as he's been lifting weights, he'll be fine.
He's more able-bodied. Scott Steiner moves like an old man.
Now, The Rock was running and clotheslining and bulldogging and people's elbowing. Like The Rock, of course, The Rock's going to get blown up a lot quicker than the average performer in the ring.
Yeah,
so yeah.
This whole show is going to be Mustafa was like, I don't know, that seems like it's out of nowhere. This whole pay-per-view, any of the results are kind of going to be just out of nowhere.
Well, but that's not a bad thing. It's an unpredictable show.
Right.
How often has WWE been giving us shows that are unpredictable? Because
I honestly do not know. Like, I'm giving you predictions, but I'm not 100% on
because
them.
we don't know the path. Like, the storytelling is there. And this is one of those few times over the past several years you can say the storytelling hasn't been great and it hasn't been perfect, but the storytelling has been good enough to where we don't know where the twists and turns on how we get to WrestleMania are. Especially like we said, you have that wild card in there of the Elimination Chamber that nothing has necessarily leaked about. The only thing we know is the women's tag titles will be decided in the Elimination Chamber. So I would go with Seth Rollins. That would be the big money. He's the closest thing they have to a big name that casuals can recognize if he's in there with someone that they definitely recognize, which would be Brock Lesnar.
Can I just ask a question? Do you think now I enjoy Seth's work, but do you think he deserves to get the win on Brock? Do you think he deserves that rub? I mean, I think he's one of the top guys. Like, I think he's pretty.
Did Roman deserve it? Look how many times how many opportunities that Roman was given to beat Brock. If anybody does deserve that rub, I would say it'd be Seth, based on his work. He pretty much has kept his nose clean and stayed injury free ever since his knee injury. He's been the most reliable person on their roster besides Finn Balor since coming back from an injury.
The only person that's beaten Brock really has been Roman Reigns, but who beat Roman Reigns?
Go
Seth Rollins.
True that.
So if you look at that kind of like who's beating who, Seth Rollins would be above Roman Reigns right now. And it's more organic and natural if they do that with him now.
And it's a matchup we haven't seen. So the only time that we actually saw those two in the ring, Undertaker came in and kicked Brock in the dick. So that was supposed to be the payback from Brock Lesnar being screwed at WrestleMania by Seth Rollins. So it's a match we haven't seen. So it should be good. And the last time it was a heel Seth. This time it's a babyface Seth. So from that aspect, yeah, if anybody's deserving of that rub, he would be the only person on the roster that I could imagine being there.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just had to ask because, like, yeah, I think Seth Rollins is like the Shawn Michaels of this era, minus the attitude problem. Like, I don't think Seth Rollins is as much as a headache as Shawn Michaels ever was, but he's just as able.
Yeah, Shawn was only a headache for those who didn't like him.
I mean, Seth isn't perfect, but yeah, not as bad as Shawn. Yeah.
Yeah, he dates questionable women. That's about
it. and sends questionable pictures.
Well,
I think those were leaked. But
now Sonya Deville is dating his questionable women, so you know. But yeah, so I'm picking Seth Rollins to win the men's Rumble. I don't know where that leaves Dean Ambrose. I really don't even know where Dean Ambrose is right now.
I think Dean is just going to be out in the cold for WrestleMania. I don't think Dean is going to have anything to do. I mean, honestly, what does Dean do right now? He had beef with Seth Rollins. Now that's kind of over with. Now,
see that storyline.
He could go after his title that he lost, right?
Against Bobby Lashley. But Bobby Lashley is doing a thing with Elias, and they need to get some gold on Elias.
Well, they could put him in the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania. Oh, wait, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, Money in the Bank never needed to be its own pay-per-view. So
I so agree.
Yeah.
It works better at WrestleMania, but who am I to judge, I guess?
Yeah, and like we got a bunch of storylines going now. Like that's one thing that I said. WWE, the storytelling hasn't been great, but ever since they did announce this shakeup, we have multiple stories in different divisions going right now. Everything from the Edgeheads being reunited now. Like we'll get into all of this on our next episode, but the WWE has numerous storylines going on at one time right now, which is, like I said, why all these matches are pretty unpredictable. And it's crazy to think where we would be in some of these situations, especially when you look at the women's division. If Nia Jax never throws that punch and breaks Becky's face, where we are right now.
We would have already had the Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey match.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know where we'd be.
Like out of everything that's unpredictable, we don't know what the path is to WrestleMania for the women. It would have been probably a lot more predictable if that match had happened.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think that it may be a convoluted way that they do it, but I'm still thinking that they're going to do the triple threat: Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and not Asuka, Becky Lynch match.
Yeah, and the one, and we did this whole review, and all of this ties into the road to WrestleMania, and the one name that we hadn't mentioned is John Cena. Like I'm dead serious. Like he said,
because Lars Sullivan is MIA right now.
Like
he's in the corner somewhere?
Where does John Cena fit in any storylines that could take us to WrestleMania besides possibly going up against Daniel Bryan? So brother-in-law, well, not even brother-in-law. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania?
No.
No.
I can see it.
Yeah, honestly, where would you even put John Cena?
Because
John
Cena said he's going to be a player this year.
Feed him to McIntyre.
Well, he said he's going to be a player. He
yeah.
said he's going to be a player this year.
Yeah.
I like this analogy that I read and heard. Like, yeah, you could put him in there with McIntyre, and McIntyre should definitely go over. They gave him Angle though. Does he need Cena too? I know it's a broken down angle.
Yeah.
I know it's
Remember,
broken down
at one
angle,
point,
but they fed him Ziggler. They fed him Kurt Angle. So are we gonna feed him John Cena too?
Remember, he was Vince's pick when he first got there.
Yeah, all the way back.
Pre Roman Reigns, he was Vince's guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Vince might still have a soft spot for him.
But then he fired him, so
Yeah, because he got shitty. I mean, not shitty, but they did nothing with him.
Yeah.
They're saying, what is it? The prodigal son returns home.
I think Vince still got a soft spot for him.
Vince's like, come here, bring it in.
But yeah,
Like, hey, I remember this guy.
Yeah, but yeah,
He looks bigger.
Like we did this whole thing, and we never really mentioned John Cena in any of the plans going forward. And I like what I heard on another show or read somewhere, how so we could do Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. That's a match that could happen at WrestleMania. That's somebody that could be easily inserted. That's a baby face to go up against Daniel Bryan. And for those who follow Total Divas and Total Bellas, it would kind of be a bonus for them, seeing how Daniel Bryan was forced to live under John Cena's rules and his house and all of that type of stuff. And he could say, I'm doing this for the Bellas.
That actually might work. The Daniel Bryan attitude right now, I mean, he would kind of go after a John Cena.
Yeah.
Like verbally.
Yeah, well, you got to think, John Cena had all the sports cars when he was living there, and like was living in excess and everything like that. And
exactly, he might be a good foil for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, to give him that 17th. He's getting that 17th championship. They've already.
Oh, he's gonna get.
They're already calling him the greatest of all time. So for anybody out there who's listening to this and they don't believe that John Cena is going to surpass Ric Flair, before Ric Flair passes, John Cena is going to be surpassing him. And believe that they're going to be sending Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and everybody's going to come down to the ring and congratulate John Cena when he does it. So John Cena versus Daniel Bryan is a match that could happen at WrestleMania. It's something that the casuals could get into. Another match that could happen, realistically, I know we all picked Seth, and we picked Seth against Brock. What I was getting at earlier is that one of the things I've heard, and it's true, is that throughout John Cena's entire career, who has John Cena pretty much been compared to? He's Superman, right? Mm-hmm. You already know where I'm going. Brock Brock Lesnar has been John Cena's doomsday. Like, John Cena cannot beat Brock Lesnar. He hasn't even stepped back in the ring with Brock ever since going to Suplex City was built on John Cena. Like, they steamrolled John Cena and built an entire city on top of him. Skyscrapers, like there's a memorial, like everything
That
is there.
whole match.
They got a
was
Walmart
silent.
in that motherfucker. Like everything was built on John Cena's back. So for John Cena to come and beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for his 17th title, that could also happen.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
The only thing with that does nothing for nobody.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have to, because whether John Cena has the belt and it's his 17th title reign, and then you feed John Cena to Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, no matter what, it gets the belt on them.
Yeah.
Remember,
Mustafa, remember what True just said? He said that WrestleMania is not for the diehards, they're for the filthy casuals. And John Cena, Brock Lesnar will bring in the casuals.
I would just rather Seth Rollins just get that W over Brock Lesnar. Than to go get a W over John Cena for getting a W over Brock Lesnar.
I'm changing my pick to John Cena to win the men's Royal Rumble.
You make a good argument, dude.
I'm picking John Cena. The fans are gonna hate it. The fans are gonna boo. But piss on
I don't
the fans.
accept it.
Like I said, it's a good argument. I just don't accept it.
I just gave you two storylines that we could get out of John Cena winning the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of John Cena winning it the 17th time. I don't think he needs to. You just doing that is just saying fuck you to Ric Flair. Excuse my language. And wrestling then to wrestling now is two different things.
True.
Him winning those titles 16 times over the span of time that he did, it took a long time because you don't have, Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff like that. Granted, they wrestle multiple nights a week, but I mean, well, I don't know. When he was world champion,
Ric Flair won his titles pretty much in the same span of time. Well, Ric Flair, I think, was 25 years for him to win the fictional 16 titles.
All of the fucking titles he had was damn near handed to him. Like,
Hold on. Who?
Right,
John Cena? John Cena or Ric Flair? Because all the stories that I've ever read about Ric Flair was the only reason Ric Flair had the title as many times as he did because nobody else wanted it.
Well, Ric Flair was that dude though that entire time.
He was that guy that can draw the people.
John Cena, we've been like, oh my God, would somebody beat him for the belt? Finally. Okay. All right, somebody beat him. Yeah. Oh, they having a rematch? Oh, he's going to win that again.
The thing is, with John Cena's 17th win, he can't lose it right away because otherwise that just, he was just padding his win.
It's the same way how when he got the 16th, that felt super cheap.
Yeah, which I still don't like.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
So if John Cena is going to get that 17th title at WrestleMania, he's going to have to at least keep it until after SummerSlam. He's going to have to keep it until Survivor Series minimum.
And he's not even a full-time player.
Yeah,
right
he's
now,
not.
So.
Well, they've already proven that if Brock Lesnar can carry, nobody could be more part-time than Brock Lesnar. Nobody.
But you gotta have a part-time.
Yeah,
you gotta have a part-time babyface champion.
He's not part-time. He's minimal time.
I don't care how you. I don't care how you put. WWE has proven that they can. WWE has proven that they can write around not having a champion on television every single week.
That's not John's character. John wouldn't. If John has a title, his character wouldn't be the one to.
But who's to say that we get John Cena? But who's to say that this But who's to say at this stage in John Cena's career? I know what they always say, like he's not gonna go heel, yada yada yada. But who's to say at this stage in his career, he's at that Hogan stage in his career, to say that he has to be a clear-cut babyface champion when he wins that belt? He could win that belt from Brock Lesnar, or he could win the belt from Daniel Bryan. He could still be the babyface for a period of time. But they've already kind of started showing that he's lost a step with all of these younger guys going over him, and even him admitting that I'm not as fast as I used to be. Even the change in his physique and his style and all those different types of things. The only thing that would be silly is now that he's added that 6 move of doom, that punch after the AA or whatever, that he's just out there to have fun. That'd be the only thing that he would have to get serious again. But he doesn't have to. He could slowly start breaking down or starting to cheat and win in nefarious ways without acknowledging it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But he doesn't have to be on television every single week. Like you said, it's John Cena, so I'm pretty sure he would want to be. But from WrestleMania to Survivor Series, if John Cena had to miss from WrestleMania to Survivor Series, that's probably like 22 Raws, 22 episodes of Raw. So if he missed 5 episodes of Raw or SmackDown, and he's doing way better than Brock Lesnar did. He's doing a lot better than champions who have been present, because he can still do promos on the screen. He doesn't have to be there every single week. It's not like the title is defended every week on television. As long as he's there when it counts, which are the pay-per-views. And I don't know what his movie schedule looks like, but yeah, I'm picking John Cena. I think all you guys picked Seth Rollins, right?
No, I picked Drew McIntyre.
All right.
I picked Mustafa Ali, but I'm just dreaming.
I forgot who I picked. I picked Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I thought you picked Gender.
Oh, gender going over the roof coming off the talking stick arena.
Great colleague.
DJ, I'm gonna have to ask that you keep him contained, please.
Nah, that is impossible.
Y'all thought I was crazy with Bobby Lashley on social media.
Keep that thing in your pants.
Go for the Royal Rumble.
We're gonna see an article. Fan gets kicked out for going crazy over Gender's win.
But
Like
So-
Xavier was along with what's dude name he's tagged with Big Cass.
Enzo.
And so,
So
Both got removed from the talking stick arena.
But yeah, those have been your Royal Rumble predictions. Now I'm gonna leave it to my contemporaries here, Chris Black and Xavier Mustafa, and if Devin August wants to chime in to give you guys their NXT predictions.
All right. So after watching the Go Home episode of NXT this week, I'm very excited for Takeover, which I believe again is going to be the main event of this entire weekend. Sorry, WWE main roster, because we know all these people are going to go out there and they're going to bust their butts, and it's going to be a very entertaining show. But starting with some of the matches, we got Cassius Ohno in this match against Matt Riddle. I think we're gonna have Matt Riddle with another victory.
yeah, it makes no sense
yeah,
for Cassius Ohno to win because Matt Riddle's beaten him twice. If Cassius Ohno wins, this feud has to continue.
yeah.
And I think Cassius Ohno, honestly, sorry, bro, but your position is to put people over right now.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Another match, we got the Undisputed Era defending the tag team titles against the War Raiders.
It's undisputed.
Undisputed probably is gonna retain. That's my
yeah, they're
Yeah, I'm about
just
to say.
going. Yeah,
My first instinct was to go with Undisputed Era. There's no reason to stop their flow right now, none whatsoever. War Raiders, aren't they going to be called up soon?
I don't know. They're not part of the shake-up call-ups. I know that.
yeah,
Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. Never
yeah.
mind.
You're being heavy machine, right? Yeah,
Anything in heavy machinery.
But yeah, Undisputed Era. I think that faction right now is hot. So
yeah. And Adam Cole and I can't think of the other one's name. Fish. They're not doing anything, so I definitely think they're gonna get involved some way, and so get involved so they don't have to pin them, and so they can continue.
I think the true element is making popcorn. Then we got the undefeated Bianca Belair
Yes, T.
challenging Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm looking forward to this match as well. I'm
This,
pretty sure
this match is
Shayna
hard though.
Baszler is
Yeah.
going to give Bianca Belair her first L. But I think it's going to be a good match as well. I think both of these ladies are very talented. I know I just recently jumped on the Baszler bandwagon because I did not like her at first. Then she started beating up Kari Sane, and I didn't appreciate that. But, I give her a credit because the last match of her and Kari Sane really made me a believer in her character. So, but I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler on that one.
I'm gonna have to. Anyone who's listened to the podcast knows that I'm all 100% in with Shayna Baszler. I've even put it on Twitter that, for the record, Shayna Baszler better than Ronda Rousey. Just saying.
Those are fighting words coming from Chris Black.
Yeah.
Please make sure you send your tweets to the natural_CB, right?
E_naturals_CB.
Yep, send those there.
Yeah, I think she's gonna.
Who's playing that?
Yeah, no sound right there. Okay, all right. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I disagree. I think Shayna's gonna give the EST first loss and retain.
Yeah. What?
He agreed. He agreed with Baszler winning.
What?
He said he disagreed.
Yeah.
He said Shayna Baszler was gonna win.
I said I agree. No, I said I agree with you.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Shayna Baszler's gonna win.
Yeah, because didn't you just say
that
the EST is gonna take a first loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got the two matches of the night. Both of these matches should be hands down absolutely amazing.
Matches.
Just because we know the caliber of these four people. But we got the first one, Johnny Gargano, Mr. Wrestling, versus Ricochet for the North American NXT title. On this one, I got Gargano going over. Yeah. You gotta finally put some gold on that man.
Yeah.
Dude.
What?
No, sorry. I'm gonna stick with Ricochet. I think he's hot right now. Yes, Gargano deserves.
He needs gold.
A win, but I think with him and Ciampa, I'll get to my predictions with that one. But I think something's interesting going to happen between those two again. But I'm gonna have to go with Ricochet.
Well, one of the things I like that they really set up really well is you would think them two both being heels and what would happen at the end of the show this week. But for those of you who don't know, Gargano, I'm trying to think, who did he have a match with? I don't know, but it ended up being Ciampa and Gargano beating up Aleister Black and Ricochet. And then at the end of it, Ciampa was kind of looking at Gargano, kind of like, are we finna fight or no? And then Ciampa extended his hand. Gargano was about to shake it, but then Gargano's wife came out and said, "No, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to go through this again," and kind of got him to go to the back. So they got this thing where could DIY be forming again? Or could they be feuding again? Like, they still left that door open, which I think is great. But, yeah, I think they finally got to put a title on Gargano.
Gargano has to get the win.
I don't think Ricochet needs it, but I also like Ricochet going for the title versus being a champion. I like the chase. And then leading into the main event, Tommaso Ciampa defending the NXT Heavyweight Championship against the former NXT Heavyweight Champion, Aleister Black.
I'm gonna have to go with Aleister Black because I feel like he's gonna be the champ until the next takeover before WrestleMania, and I think Adam Cole is gonna challenge him for the title. But they need to get it off of Ciampa in order to have a match with Adam Cole. So I'm gonna have to go with Aleister Black, and I think he's only gonna be a short-lived champ because I think they want the belt on Adam Cole.
Yeah, I do think they want Undisputed to have all the gold. But I'm actually gonna go with Black too because I feel like if Black loses, I don't think there's nothing else for him on NXT. So I
This is
just,
gonna be
I
a hard fought match too. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
hard fought match.
Ooh,
If it's
it's-
a clean win, I would understand that. But I mean, of course, I see it being a dirty win. I just don't think they just took it off Aleister Black. They just put it on Ciampa. For it to go on Aleister Black again, I just don't think this makes any sense for the title. I think Ciampa is one of those people. He doesn't need a title to get over, but it makes him more over him being being champion. But well, that's just me.
True that, but I mean, true that. But if Ciampa retains, like, who does he feud with from there? The Dream, Velveteen
Yeah.
Dream,
He can
Gargano.
have another one with Aleister Black, but also they could put Adam Cole in that because Adam Cole will end up being the babyface out of the whole thing, but not how do I word it intentionally. I mean, he can still be a heel, but he'll be the babyface just because Ciampa is more of a bigger heel than Adam Cole is.
yeah.
That, or they do something weird where down the line somewhere, Ricochet loses the title, and maybe Adam Cole gets the title, the NXT Championship, and then it's a tag match: Ricochet and Aleister Black versus Gargano and Ciampa at Takeover Mania. I don't know. That's armchair booking.
You also got to remember too. You may have an Aleister Black call up. You may have a Ricochet call up because you got the next group right behind them, the ACH group. I'm calling it. That's going to be right on these guys' heels, and you got the a day after WrestleMania call ups.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'm a little gun shy now, but what the hell are they gonna do with Aleister Black on the main roster? There's a lot of things I would like to see him do, but is he gonna actually be given the opportunity? Or are they just gonna bury him like they do everybody else?
I would love to actually see Aleister Black. If Finn Balor doesn't win the championship, let's team Aleister Black and Finn Balor together.
I would like to see Aleister Black and Brock Lesnar.
I like to see Aleister Black and McIntyre.
I would love to see Aleister Black versus Shayna Baszler, but you know.
Just picture this: Aleister Black hitting Black Mass, is that what it's called, right?
Yeah.
On Brock Lesnar.
That would be.
Dude.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, is Brock gonna take that?
We've seen Brock go
He
head
took
first
big
into the
stuff
turn
on
post.
Raw.
Brock Lesnar takes things the hard way, so that's gonna be a legit Black Mass.
Yeah.
No, but Brock will give him them hands too afterwards.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just too many matches for TakeOver. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be maybe 1 or 2 surprise matches. And then, of course, they're going to have a TV taping before the show where it's going to be Kairi Sane and I can't remember the other girl's name.
Which one?
Her friend. Versus
Tina Shafir or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're going against the two the 2 girls that are with Shayna Baszler.
The 2 guys.
Yeah, he loves to say guys.
That's one of the matches. And then, So I will be live tweeting, so you can follow me at Xavier Mustafa on Twitter. And I also will be live tweeting to the Facebook page, Saturday Night SlamCasters. Please make sure that you're following both of those to get up-to-date information.
Devin August, are you following us on social media?
Yeah.
That's a no.
Yeah.
It took him a long time to answer.
I know.
Are you subscribed to us on are you subscribed to the podcast?
He a Bears fan, man. What do you expect?
Yeah, he don't even know how to use computers. He's still stuck back in the 80s. He think computers look like the War Games movie.
He's still playing Oregon Trail.
Nah, he playing Asteroids. Oregon Trail will blow his mind. I think Asteroids just dropped when the Bears won their last Super Bowl. So
12 wins though. 12 wins. 12 wins, 8 Pro Bowl.
Hold on.
Thank
12 wins. 12 wins in the watered down. 12 wins in a watered down NFL.
All right, Trill, I'm gonna take us home.
All right. Anybody got anything else they want to say about the NXT and the Royal Rumble coming up? I know you guys are out there going to be witnessing it live. You guys hitting up anything that the fans could look for you at?
We'll just be at all the events, except for we're not doing access, unfortunately.
You
But
don't want to
we'll
meet
be.
the man, Becky Lynch.
I did hear that somebody's going to be at cricket tomorrow. I think it's a Bailey. I can't remember.
Oh,
Two
go
of the
get a
women.
hug.
I know. Get a hug. Get a soundbite.
Get a drop. This is Bailey, and you're listening to Saturday Night SlamCasters.
Right.
I'm probably going to be working for them because WWE doesn't know how to book me correctly. But yeah, those have been your Royal Rumble predictions. This show went way longer than I ever expected it to, but we covered NXT. We also covered the Royal Rumble. Like I said, we're gonna look into doing something with legal gambling as far as wagering on these pay-per-views going forward. The Royal Rumble was probably the most difficult one to place that in, but yeah. You guys been listening to Saturday Night SlamCasters. This has been your Royal Rumble predictions. Guys, go ahead and give out your social media.
You can catch me at Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and Twitter. Also at eBrownJr81 is my personal Twitter. I'm on there a little bit more than I am on the Xavier Mustafa one, so please follow me at both of those.
You can catch me at The Natural Chris Black on Facebook, The Natural Chris Black on Instagram, and because Twitter sometimes suck, _natural_CB on Twitter.
Devin August, you can go ahead and give out your social media as well. Thanks for being on the show with us today.
You can catch me on Facebook, DJ Bass, and I don't have a Twitter, so yeah, that's it. Facebook.
Bears fan. Remember that.
Yeah, go ahead and
Bear down.
For those of you guys that listen to this podcast and this show, as well as listen to Flagrant 2, go ahead on Devin August's pages and leave assholes on there and eggplants. Anyways, this your boy True Element 78. You can catch Saturday Night Slam Masters on all your social media platforms. Just search Saturday Night SlamCasters. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, coming soon to your Alexa devices. You can also subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting apps. And be sure to subscribe to us and share our content. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube as well. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our shows. We'll be coming back to you guys in a week with our Royal Rumble review. And then every second and fourth Saturday of the month, be sure to check out our podcast. Like I said, this has been Saturday Night SlamCasters. Holla at your boys. Come